Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new edition of Big Brother 25 live feed spoilers. We are closing in now on the finale. We're not that close, but we're like close-ish. It's like that there's like that
Mm,
tiny glimpse of light at the end of the tunnel is there.
Not that far. It's only a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We're rolling into the end here, folks.
Yeah, it's like there's another double eviction later this week.
hmm
We can sort of start to chart what's going on with some people and their end games. Like that'll be a big part of what we talk about here. Also, of course, the aftermath of the veto ceremony that played out later. I mean, earlier today.
hmm
Will there be a blindside? At least for one person, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, we'll get into all of that, but just in case you guys didn't know,
Mhm.
we have a live stream going on tonight in just a few hours
Yes.
over on our Patreon. So if you want to be part of that, ask us some questions, talk about Big Brother, we'll have a link for you down below for that. And it's just, it's a great way to support us and all the Big Brother content that we've been bringing here.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much to those of you who have supported and for those of you who are checking it out tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it'll be really fun. Next Monday,
Oh
Matt's going
boy.
to be dressing up like a vampire. It's our Halloween live stream.
I promise I won't do that the entire time we do the live stream.
Not the entire time. I hope you caught that. Not the entire time, but sometimes.
I don't know why. I just felt like I need to do the laugh again there.
Twice in this stream as we're not even at 2 minutes.
I'm going to go, listen, everybody. If you know one thing about me, it's that if I find something that's funny, I will completely beat that dead horse into the ground time and time and time again.
For some reason, it just gets funnier and funnier.
Listen, you get a joke, you get tired of it, then the joke eventually comes back. Like during Big Brother 22 videos, I spent about 30 hours combined doing an Enzo impression that wasn't even that good.
It was so funny,
And
though.
for some reason, I can't even do it anymore. It left my body the moment the season ended. But people were annoyed about it, then they came back around at the end.
Okay, so let's get into the live feed.
Okay.
So here's where we are. America and Blue were Jag's initial nominees, and everyone played for the veto, but guess who? Suri.
This is one of the weirdest subplots of the entire season where Tinfoil Hat BB Twitter had all these theories about was Cerise's chip ever in the bag? Like it was in the bag. Come on. But it's just like it's just really weird luck that she goes the entire season. Like she played in a veto when she was a nominee, but like to never do it. You know what, though, at the same time, given some of the vetoes that we have seen this season, I'm not sure I would want to play in all of them either, especially if it could end up wearing a pig costume, being stuck in a kayak. Sri didn't even play in that veto, and she had to have the kayak punishment.
Okay, let's talk about who won the veto and who's probably winning the game if they don't get him out during this double coming up. It's Jag. He is on a winning streak.
Like seriously, he got it was invisible HOH. That veto, this HOH, which our thoughts of him being able to play at this point are all collectively clear.
Mhm.
But then also this veto as well.
Yeah.
He is rolling. Now, for a good while this week, it felt pretty clear that okay, American Blue are just gonna stay on the block. But this weekend, Felicia woke up and she was just like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to cause some problems for really no apparent reason. And I'm going to like start to go around and say that Cerise supposedly told Blue that she was the target before the start of the veto. Other things that, we can't corroborate because they were off feeds. And she's just like throwing Cerise under the bus all of these different times. And the real question was, why? Like, why are you doing this, Felicia? Like, I thought you were working with Suri again after you previously threw her under the bus to the point that it didn't seem like you guys were going to work together.
Yeah, I mean, she really has handed Suri the bus schedule.
And okay, I had, well, BB Twitter had the tinfoil hat on earlier with Suri's chip. I'll put it on here because it's like, what is Suri doing? I mean, what is Felicia doing? I feel like a part of it may be her subconsciously being a little bit jealous that Suri has some of the relationships that she does. She wants to build up some of these. So in order to build herself up, she's got to bring Suri down. Maybe
Mhm.
she does think on some level that Suri could beat her, or maybe this is just a, you know what, if there are any other plans that involve me going on the block, I'm going to put a stop to them right now because I'm going to make Suri's target a lot bigger, and I don't think they're going to put up Bowie Jane. So let's roll with this.
No, there's not a lot of choices because Bowie Jane's not going up.
No, it did feel though like for maybe even just a few minutes that Jag entertained this idea because Suri is she is a big threat and she's somebody who it just looks good if you take Suri out of
Yes.
the game because of her reputation. Now, here's the thing, Matt has never seemed that into it. He has always been writing for Suri ever
Mhm.
since, and this is not the first Riley. Well, this is the first Riley mention. This will not be the last Riley mention that we're making in this video.
Oh
The
boy.
most popular second evicted house guest of all time. But ever since she was like, Matt, trust Suri, Matt has done it. He has trusted Suri. I feel like Matt shut down a lot of these ideas, and because of that, the idea of putting up Suri for now never really got that much steam.
This is the thing. If Jag also takes out Suri
Yeah.
with all of his wins, like I don't know how he doesn't win this game, but it's still, I want to say, just a little bit too early because he will have to continuously win all the way to the end because nobody wants to go to the end with Jag at
Yeah.
this point. Like if you go to the end with Jag, you deserve to lose.
Yeah, it's a very risky idea in general, this idea of I think I can just make it all the way there because you don't know what the other competitions are going to be. There could be the next
Yes.
HOH competition could be it's time for Survivor Panama Exile Island trivia, and in which case I feel like Suri has got a pretty good shot at taking that one home. You don't know what the other comps are gonna. You can't bet on anything in this game.
Listen, if that happens, then it is absolutely rigged.
Okay, you know what though? That BB Twitter will feel like that is perfect just desserts for Jag
I
getting to play
know.
in 2 HOHs in a row, and then
Hey, this game is not fair.
the veto competition is then going to be swimming, and they're just going to get Matt. Have fun, Matt.
I know.
Okay, now here we go. I got my train of thought left the station there for a minute. There. Okay, so ultimately, here's the craziest thing is that Matt hasn't necessarily clued in Suri as to all the messiness that he's heard from Felicia. Like,
Mhm.
that made me think for a second, like, okay, maybe Matt is starting to distance himself from Suri a little bit. But then, he's also kind of mentioned to Suri that he would consider taking a shot at Jag at Final Four. Now, he and Jag have previously discussed trying to make Suri feel really comfortable and,
Mhm.
in theory, telling Suri this may make her feel like, okay, you know what? There's more value in going to the Final Four with Matt and Jag because Matt wants to turn on him anyway. But
Mhm.
could he actually be serious? Like, if Matt does this and takes out Jag, I mean, that's a really big thing for his resume.
Okay, everybody put on your hard hats here.
All right. Bonk. Okay.
If Matt takes Jag or Suri to the end, I don't think he wins. He's riding with two people that I think are both going to beat him. At this stage of the game. If like this was the finale right now and he took either of them, I think he loses. Don't come for me in the comments. I said what I said.
I think it's going to be hard, especially with the way that Jag has been winning. Like 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, I came on here and I was like, I think Matt's the favorite to win. But Jag has won so many times now that it's going to be hard to dispute that.
And he's really likable. Like Matt is really likable. He's got a great social game, but people really like Jag too.
Okay, so leading up to the veto ceremony, like America tried to get the veto used on her, but Jag's not going to have that happen. Jag's whole MO here is just like, I put a couple of people on the block. I don't want to get any more blood on my hands. I don't want to, do anything else that's too risky because I don't need to make my target bigger, even though there's literally nothing that Jag could do at this point that would actually make his target smaller because he's done so much already.
Okay, so here's the non-shocker, of course. Jag does not use the veto, and Blue in America has just stayed on the block.
Okay, so here is where the blind side of this comes. And like, I've I've thought for a while that, okay, Blue has to know, right? But just from the show, there doesn't seem to be any evidence that she actually knows and that she's still in the dark. And I think she's bought into this idea that she went up to make sure that America didn't win the veto and to
Mhm.
protect Jag from having to get more blood on his hands by putting somebody else up. That it's all going to be fine just because America has made such a mess of things and that people will not want to keep her around.
Yeah, and she's called for revenge. So the
Yes.
idea that she's not the target and Blue is the target is, a bit mind-boggling.
Okay, this is where we get to something that you mentioned this a minute ago, that Jag really just wants to win his way to the end. And
Mhm.
that's something he even said in his last DR, that he views Blue as more of a comp threat really than anybody else who's against him at this point. And that's why he wants her out this week, even though she's more loyal to him than other people in the game. It's like a part of me gets it. Like I understand that, but you've said it and I agree with it. It's just there's just still too much time left. And I genuinely believe this. There's no right or wrong way to win Big Brother. You can win Big
Sure.
Brother, without winning competitions. We've
Yes.
seen that. We've seen people win a lot of competitions. We've seen that season where Rachel won, where they gave her the same competition late in the game
I
that they gave
know.
her at the start of the season. What a surprise. Rachel won it again. But there's a million different ways you can win this game, but just relying on competitions is a really, really hard way to win.
It's risky. I mean, there's not that much time left, so he could do it. I mean, there's still a lot of people are like, I'm going to throw this, throw that. There's only a couple weeks left. I can throw everything. And it's like, and then you have people in the house that just haven't won anything yet. That at this point, it's kind of like, I see why Jag is seeing the path forward to be like,
Yeah.
well, if nobody around me is winning and nobody wants to win, I'll happily eat all these W's. Like I'm ready to just go to the end.
And he should. Like I
Yes.
this is the thing, is that I know there are a lot of people right now who are anti-Jag, and I feel like this is a symptom of two simple things. One, production set him up to be very distasteful because of this ridiculous he gets to play in two HOHs in a row thing, which is not Jag's fault.
It's not his fault.
It's just also people want chaos. Like we want chaos. Like we're rooting for lifey drama, and if Jag's always in power, the season gets a little bit predictable. And here's the good news. There is a chance at chaos because Jag did tell Sri and Felicia that he wants Blue out, and they debated today, do we try to make the vote 2-2 so that Jag has to be the one who breaks the tie, gets Blue out himself, gets more blood on his hands, and assuming here that Matt and Bowie Jane are going to vote together, then Felicia and Sri would then vote together.
I mean, it's a good plan.
I would like it.
I would do what I could to put even more and more and more of a target on Jag. Like
Yeah.
people need to wake up and start actually playing hard to have some comp wins so that they can have some power and make some choices. Nobody needs to go to the end with Jag.
Yeah.
Everybody loses. So get him out.
You got to get him out, and you got to find ways to at least rattle him to a point where maybe when he enters some of these competitions, he's not going to do as well. Now, I mean, like, this is a good example. Nobody, knows for sure there's a double eviction coming up, but they can count the number of days that are left. Like,
Mhm.
if Suri and Felicia manage to pull this off and they tie the vote, Jack has to make this brutal move to get rid of Blue himself.
Mhm.
You go immediately into a double. Jag cannot play in that HOH unless they change the rules and are like, here you go, Jag, you get to play in your third
Oh,
straight.
I'm just going to throw my hands up if that happens. I mean, Big Brother is always unfair, but that would be wild.
I'm
They're
going
not
off.
doing that.
I'm leaving social media if that happens.
Oh
No,
my goodness.
no, they're not doing that. But he would be potentially rattled going into a veto, and that is potentially a do or die veto for him unless
Mhm.
Matt wins HOH and he decides that he wants to keep Jag in the game a little while longer.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we get into Matt's bizarre desire to get rid of America. Mostly, this probably hasn't been discussed enough, is that he's held some like deep-seated personal grudge here ever since she messed with Riley's Q-tip heart that she left when she departed the house literally months ago. Matt, you got no. You gotta let this go. I don't know how Riley feels about you. I'm not going to go and track down Riley's social media to find out. I'm just, if you got these feelings, you can chase them after the game. Don't hold on to them now.
Yeah, you don't need to hold on to this grudge, but I will say that from the people that I know that have played Big Brother, that they have said it is a very intense experience, and that because all you can do is spend time with the people in the house, even if it's for a short time, you make these like crazy connections with people. Even if they don't reciprocate it, you can make a very close connection with somebody that you do hold on to. And then there's nothing to distract you from that, even after they leave. It's just you're stuck there thinking yourself to death. You know how it is? I mean, we've all been there where we've been in a spot where we just thinking ourselves to death. Matt, you thinking yourself to death and you just need to stop. And you will once you get out of the house, I promise.
What if Matt's in the final two and they show Riley in the audience before he gets his speech and he just draws a blank and he's unable to say anything in his final speech to the jury? No, okay. So this is the funniest thing that Blue has arguably done in the entire season of the show is her trying to campaign that Matt keeping her and Jag keeping it. This is what Riley would want, guys. Riley would want us to stick together.
People are really using Riley as a way to like manipulate Matt because America did that as well.
It's so funny. I mean, they may know it's funny, but it's still hilarious that they're even mentioning it.
Listen, I said it the last time. It's not a bad strategy, especially since like if you're really sort of picking up what Matt's putting down, he's so focused on her. Why not use that? This is Big Brother. Use it all.
Okay, so here's a couple little other odds and ends here from the feeds today. Like Matt and Jag have this sort of idea where they're going to try to slowly turn America against Sari and Felicia. And here's the thing about my guy Jag is that he's a man of ideas. He has a lot of ideas. He talks about a lot of these ideas. The majority of the ideas do not work unless his idea is I'm going to go and win a competition. Like those typically work.
Yes.
His I'm going to go and try to make this thing happen. There's a reason Jag was evicted earlier this season. He's not. This is never going to work. Like America's. I don't think she's gonna be Sari and Felicia's best friend. She's not gonna work with you guys. She knows you guys are gonna win the game.
No, she's not working with you.
Also today, Felicia is still throwing Sari under the bus. The Matt and Jag talking up how good Sari's social game is. I mean, this is the thing. A lot of what Felicia says is technically true, that Sari does have a great social game. Like Sari is really dangerous.
Yes.
It's just Felicia's the worst possible messenger for this information because it's just like you've been talking for days. There's no reason why you need to be trying to get Sari out right now. Is Felicia just bored?
I wonder if she's worried because, she's been on the block a bunch of times. People have put her up a lot. So she might just be worried going into the next thing where she's like, I don't really have anybody that I'm like super, super close to where I'm seeing like Matt and Jag and everything else that's kind of going on. Sari has a really good relationship with Matt too. So there's kind of this, these three that are, protecting Sari that she's kind of like, well, cool then. I'm just on my own. Like, how do I protect myself? And that's probably how she's going about, to be like, you know what? If I can make the target on Sari bigger than the target on me, and I've been on the block so many times, then I got to do what I got to do.
All right. I think that's probably right. And before we go here, there's one last thing that needs to be done here. I'm going to take out the metaphorical bugle. Okay. So before this season, Jess and I, we didn't do a traditional winner pick per se, but we picked who we thought our favorite players were going to be in the house. I picked Jag. You picked Felicia.
They still in the game.
Look at us. Look at us. Going into the double eviction, both of our favorite preseason players are in the final six. If Jag can win the veto, there's a good chance they both will be in the final five. I don't know who's taking out Felicia in the double eviction.
I've been pretty good with my picks. I mean, I haven't had any winners, but I picked Enzo and he made it to the end. And I picked Azza and she made it pretty far too. She was like number 3. So, I mean,
I don't remember who I picked. I can't praise or belittle myself too much. Apparently, my Big Brother predictions are a lot like everything that happened with my Enzo impression, where it's just completely left my head. But okay, now we'll take off now. We must prepare for our live stream in a very short amount of time here. So check out that Patreon link in the description if you guys want to be a part of that. Talk TV with us. Thank you so much to those who are already supporting.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys here next time.